Courage is doing something that doesn't come easy. It is about being brave enough to say, okay, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't even know if I want to do it. I probably want to do it, but I don't know if I have the stamina to do it, but you do it anyway. And today is the last day of the month related to courage, which means that for 62 days I've been going live now in a row. Well, not live, but posting on Instagram. I cannot believe it. I just cannot believe it. So last weekend was the Courage Challenge, and I actually wrote a little something about it on here. And it gets into the topics that I explained when it came to courage. And I have to say, I'm pleasantly surprised with, I'm not going to say how easily this month went by, but actually I am. I never in a million years would have thought that I would have something to share with you about courage every day for 31 days. But I did it. And actually, I've been working ahead of time. So here is something else I've been working on, which is related to transforming your thinking. I also have got it in a bigger version. But so much has changed. So much has changed since last year. So last year I did the December challenge, the Christmas challenge, and the New Year's challenge at the last weekend. And I said, I want you to finish the year strong and start the new year with an energy boost. Well, I can tell you, I started the year with a boost. So December was basically about energy. And yes, I finished that year strong. And, you know, this month was even better. I cannot believe that I'm actually saying so, but I am. So many things have changed and I didn't know it was possible. Anyway, going back to the Courage Challenge, I posted about a number of things which are actually in here. So I'm talking about some recurring topics that I talked about. Of course, we talked about courage. That's duh, because it's the month of courage, hence also the Courage Challenge. But I also talked about one step at a time, because if you want to change too many things and you're not even good at doing one thing, then applying the next thing, that's not going to work. So it's best to focus your energy on one thing, and then when that comes easy, then you go and do the next thing. I also talked about consistency. Well, posting for 62 days in a row, that is consistency. And it's the one thing I told my coach that I needed, and apparently I've been saying so for years. But yes, consistency is one of the hardest things, because it does require that you figure out why you haven't been consistent and what you need to change in order to be consistent. So I talk about that in my blog post too, about the whole consistency thing. I talk about being a role model, as in I can teach and I can share with people about the importance of showing up, being consistent, having courage, applying courage. But if I don't do it myself, I don't change anything, then who am I to actually share anything? And a good coach, you can tell when someone is a good coach when they actually have done it themselves. So when they have come up with a solution for a problem, and hopefully that's a recognizable problem for you, and you're like, oh, hey, hang on, I would like to know a little bit more. How is she working? And maybe it's interesting to work with her. And then, of course, you want to see things first. So hence, website, YouTube channel, Instagram account, all those things, so you can actually see it. And by the way, my website is ladylexi.com. And if you want to apply for the Courage Challenge, well, it's still there, then it's ladylexi.com/courage challenge. So, talking on about the recurring topics, I talk a lot, not just in the Courage Challenge, about that one topic. So it's that one thing which gives you all the energy and which makes you happy. It's that one thing that makes you feel like you're on top of the world, or at least you can handle the world a little bit better. So people do say, so does it need to be my job or can it be a hobby? Yeah, of course it can be a hobby. And if you can make your job, sure, it would be amazing if you can make your job from it. But we don't know. But if you have doubts and you want to work on something, then choose that one thing that energizes you. I also talked about a solid foundation. Well, the two of those are related to one another. They're linked together because what we want and what we need is that you can function every day knowing that you have enough energy, knowing that you can actually take on a challenge and not be disrupted in your normal daily life. So yes, that can also mean that you need to pay attention to how much you move, what you eat, what you do. But it's all related to how much energy do you have left at the end of the day, and especially also during the day, because we don't want you to have a lot of energy at the start of the day and then boom, there's nothing left anymore. And yes, I know about energy because dealing with something called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, I tend to be low on energy every now and then, so I sleep a bit more than most people do. And I can tell you, that's a challenge. Mindsets are maybe one of the most difficult things to work on. First of all, mindsets are usually hidden. I wrote a book about it. If you're interested, you can go to Amazon, find Uncovering Your Mindsets by Lady Lexi, me. And there's the first part is a story, and the second part I explain how things work. And people say it's a very easy book to read. I made the drawings myself, so check it out on Amazon. Lady Lexi, Uncovering Your Mindsets. But as I said, mindsets are often hidden. We are not aware that we actually have them. But if you start to write down what is keeping you from moving forward, and that's where this beauty comes into play, which is related to transforming your negative mindsets into positive ones. And yes, that does also require courage. Then when we research our thoughts and what stops us each time around, then at some point we figure out, oh, hang on, it's the same thoughts over and over and over again. So probably you have some specific thoughts depending on the topic. I actually recorded a video about that. It must be on YouTube somewhere. And when you start to recognize them, then you can ask yourself, okay, is it something that works for me or not? Is it something from the old days, or is that something that, I recently developed, and again, does it work for me, or should I change something? So mindsets are very persistent. Being specific and clear about it is what you want. This is about mixed messages, the messages you tell yourself, the messages you get across to other people. And, if you are not specific in what it is you want, then how can you expect others to understand what it is you need? I mean, it sounds so simple, but for us to be specific and to be clear about it, we really need to know what it is we want. And do we actually know? Because then we get back to courage. Do we dare to admit to ourselves that some things maybe are not that perfect as we would like them to be, and that we long for certain things that may be out of our reach right now? But you never know how certain things happen. But unless you are clear about it, no one will know. And the last thing that I talked about Consistently was about taking action. So you can visualize all you want, you can know what it is you want, but if you don't act on it, then nothing is going to change for you. So I'm showing the 4 frameworks that I came up with. So for every day I have a framework. It was 3 days, and the fourth one, so actually the first one that you see, was the one that I talked about on my first Friday Night Live with Lady Lexi. If you want to see the Friday Night Lives with Lady Lexi, they will stay on YouTube. So that means that the first day of the card challenge will be on YouTube as well. You can just go there and watch it. And well, my question to you is, I know what my challenge is. I know my struggle when it comes to consistency. And I also know that it's a daily struggle because, like I said, my sleep pattern is totally haywire. It has to do partially with not me dealing with the hypermobility, but partially also because I work during the night. So for instance, right now it's after 4 o'clock. So I started recording this at 4 at night. Why? Because first of all, I'm a night owl. There are not many people around, so hardly any distractions. So that's for me, it's way easier for me to work when I do not get disturbed. And for some reason, I get very creative at night. Don't ask me why. And I'm not sure, I don't think I said so, but working with people who are overseas actually means that if I want to give them training and I want to get training, then sometimes I need to be up till 5. So tomorrow and probably the day after, but specifically tomorrow, will be one of those long days. And that's okay, it fits who I am. The only thing is that, and now we come to the consistency, at some point I want to go to sleep. And this is why the whole consistency was such a battle for me, because by the time I think like, oh yeah, I still need to do something, it's early morning when I start to do it and I start to edit and do other stuff, I'm so wide awake and I don't fall asleep anymore. So I know I need to sleep prior to it, which means that I need to take action before it's that time, or even better, I need to work ahead of time. Well, today I worked ahead of time, so that's good. And right now I'm finishing the last bits of the blog post. Recording this video is one of those actions. So this video is not only going to be on my blog post, it's also going to be on Instagram, and it's also going to be on YouTube. So YouTube I use for long form content, longer than 10 minutes. Instagram, I won't say for long form as in over an hour unless I'm live. And the blog post, I do my best to post something every week. Well, that's something I can work on still, but step by step, one step at a time. And for now, I'm very happy that I'm getting something out there every day, that I am consistent enough when it comes to YouTube. So because I am recording more and more, so there's the Friday Night Live, which is usually around an hour. So that's at least once a week. And then there are the shorter but still long form content like these ones that I record here on Instagram. And, I can post these every day or every other day. Just because I post it on Instagram doesn't mean I have to post it on YouTube the same day as well. So yeah, I'm getting there. And yes, of course, there are many more challenges ahead. But, if I can do it, you can do it too. And of course, you have your own challenges and you have your own circumstances. But then again, sometimes you need to see that certain things are possible. And I don't think I'm very different from other people when it comes to these things. So yes, I'll admit I don't have children, so I don't have to take those into consideration. But then again, I do need to sleep more because I am dealing with some health issues. So, where one has an advantage on one end, another one has an advantage on the other end. But still, it's about figuring out what you need, what your one thing is that energizes you, and then finding the time to work on it. And yes, that does require courage. Well, anyway, if you want to watch that courage challenge, you need to be quick. Because I'll be taking it down in a few days. So if you want to keep on watching it, get some extra PDFs and all that other stuff, then make sure that you sign up. So go to ladylexi.com/courage challenge and make sure that you leave your information out there so I can reach out to you. And when you do so, you can also get a free coaching call. We call it a strategy session, but then we can work on that one thing that you could use some extra courage for, that one thing that makes you so happy and go through the day with a smile. So hurry, go there, ladylexi.com/courage challenge. If you want to see more when it comes to courage, then go click over there, and you will see more videos related to courage.